It's your friend DJ from the Bear Essentials, and we're out in the heart of winter in Ontario, Canada. It's the middle of January and it's calling for the coldest night of the year. I've got no tent and no sleeping bag. I'm gonna be building a shelter to survive the night and cooking delicious campfire meals while we're at it. So join me on this adventure, it's gonna be a good one. This snow's pretty deep and it's hard to trek through. I've just got a light layer under this, and this is just a canvas anorak. Keep the sweat down. Oh, look at this. Too bad. This could have been used as a shelter, but you could see there's a big pocket of water right down there. Looks like we got something over here. That looks nice. I can't really tell if that's wet under there, but I think there's only one way to find out. If I want to build a fire in here, I gotta push some of this snow back. I don't want it melting and coming down into my shelter. What we gotta do is get a big fire going in there and let that burn for a few hours. I'm kind of curious to see what the temperature rating is out here. Under these nice gloves, I've got these merino wools, and then under that, these latex gloves. And these really keep your hands nice and warm and dry. All right, temperature, it seems it's hanging out just at around -13 right now, which is pretty nice. I don't need a hat on at the moment. My nose is a little bit cold. If it starts getting a little colder, I'll throw a hat on. I usually keep this on first while I work so I don't overheat. The worst thing that could happen is you start to sweat and then your clothes get drenched for at nighttime. So I'm just trying to pace myself. That's looking pretty good. It's hard to tell, but this is about the size of a king mattress right here. When the snow's this deep, it's really hard to travel. Just look at how deep it is there to where my snowshoes packed down to how deep I dug. So to make it easier on myself, I'm just gonna walk around my snowshoes and tamp down the site. Pretty much breaking trail around the area that I'm going to be using most. My nose is definitely freezing, so I think it's about time to put on a hat. That's nice. Oh. Aha! That didn't work out. I got covered in way more snow than if I just let that fall on me. Check this out. This is a paper birch tree. These are one of the best natural fire starters you could find. The bark of the paper birch has some oils in it and it lets you start a fire really easily. We're gonna collect a bunch of this stuff, put it in our pack pouch. I'd like to get lots of extra of this stuff, just in case my fire goes out in the middle of the night, which it probably will. This is what I use to get my fire back up and going fast. My axe just sits right in between those two there. In the winter, it's really hard to tell what's a dead tree or what's a tree that just had its leaves come off. They all kind of look bare and dead in the winter. So if you're trying to find big trees for firewood, it's sometimes tough. What I'm doing is looking for trees that look pretty dead at the top as well, like this one. It's got no real branches coming off of the top, so I know it's dead. And I'm pushing on a bit. It feels a little bit lighter than other trees. Even some of the trees that look dead have branches coming off the top, so technically they're still alive. Here's a good example of some for sure dead ones. Look, they're just cut right off at the top. Perfect. Birch is technically a hardwood, so it'll provide a lot more heat than the softwood trees over here. If we want to tighten down on all this and we have a really long rope, you could do the Fairmont friction hitch. You just do a loop like that. I'm not going to show it here, but we have it on our Knot IQ knot tying app. You slide this down and it's locked in place, and if I pull this tag end, the whole thing comes loose. So now it's secure. Perfect sized trees, nice and dead, with a lot of little dead sticks to get the fire going. All this will do great. The hardest part is trekking around in this deep snow. Trying to find a dry spot to sit. Oh, that's good. Well, we got a good bundle of wood, but I'm gonna need a lot more than this to survive the night. This time of year it gets dark around 5 o'clock p.m. and doesn't get light again until about 8 a.m. So I've got to keep myself warm for 15 hours. I've got to get about 3 to 4 times as much wood as this, but I'm gonna start my fire now. And I'm halfway out of water, so we should start boiling some water soon too. We're gonna need something to protect the bottom from the snow to start our fire. I could probably use this here, this bark, and just layer it in there. The crinkled bits like this, inside usually has the driest stuff in the winter. My striker has a tungsten bit on here, shoots a lot of sparks. Try to push it towards the back up there. Even with lots of dry sticks like this, it's not easy to keep a fire going. Everything's working against this fire. The ground's cold, all the sticks have a little bit of snow on it. You got to be really careful and be patient with your fire in the winter. Until this heats up this whole zone and melts a lot of the snow and gets the ground warm, we just got to keep tending to it and feeding it with small sticks. So it looks like now we hit a point where the fire's really ripping. That took about 15 minutes to actually catch. Now it'll hopefully dry off all these pieces at the side, the bigger ones, and we could eventually put these in as well. Now we can start throwing these a little bit closer and in, because the fire's going pretty nice. Well, we got one small problem here. Our fire's now warming out the rock, but it's also infinitely melting this shelf of snow. You could just see constant drips. It's pure ice though. That's a shelf of pure ice, so I can't really break it. Or can I? Oh shoot, that went right in the fire. Can I get it out? Save the fire. Oh. Oh no! I didn't realize it was open. Flew into the fire. But I saved it, kind of. Looking a little worse for wear, but it's saved. Well, I'm absolutely starving. I haven't had anything since breakfast. I brought some salted cashews just to snack on. This will hold me over till I can cook some lunch. So now that we've got a really good bed of coals there, it's time to make some lunch. Also, we're just gonna check on the temperature. It's looking like it's negative 18. All I'm really wearing is a canvas anorak. This is just for breathability and to keep the snow off of me. Under here, I just have a base layer on. That's all I got on right now because I'm just in work mode and I don't want to sweat through my warm layers. I'm gonna try to stick it out a little bit more by the fire and cook this lunch. Then I gotta put a sweater on underneath this. First things first, let's get some snow melted. This is one of the coolest cook systems. It has this bottom walk that I'm just gonna put some snow in. Just a little bit like that, just to get some water in there. Now we have the top piece. That's gonna go over top of it there. I'm gonna add in some ghee, which is like a butter, but it's all frozen solid. Everything's frozen. Let's get this guy right on the coals first. This is hilarious. All that snow melted down and gave me barely any water. Is there even any water? All right, let's see how much water this yields. We got some dough, cheese, marinara sauce, and some peppers. And looks like I completely forgot the pepperonis. We're making a cheese panzarotti. Good, see the water in the bottom there? That's exactly what we want. I should get a little bit more. This is where the nitrile gloves also come in. Pretty handy. All right, now this is the magic. Fold one end over and seal her on up. It's basically like a big pierogi. See all these really good coals here? Put them right on top. This way it cooks from the top down as well as from the bottom up. It's kind of like a Dutch oven. It takes such a long time to make water from snow. That's crazy. I'm gonna be needed to do this all day and pretty much all night too. Just constantly melting snow. Oh, yes. Ooh, yeah. All right, there we go. Nice ponzo. Super hot. Got a little burned here, but I think it's going to be delicious inside. I think I want to heat up some of this marinara sauce in here too. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, attempt number 2. Oh, All right, bon appetit. Some marinara sauce on there. Mmm. Look at that. Mmm. Can't forget the sauce. Mmm. The best part. These plates here are made out of palm leaf. It's really cool because they're super lightweight, and I could just throw them in the fire afterwards, burn them on up. Now for dessert, I got a Canadian Classic Special. We're gonna take some of this maple syrup. Oh, it's frozen shut. There we go. Alrighty, one sip for good luck. Mmm. I could live off this stuff. First, we're gonna pour it in the pot and we're gonna heat this all up. We're gonna get this nice and hot. We're just gonna use a nice flat surface here. All right, look at that. That's caramelizing nice. Now you could take a stick and just wrap like this. Oh yeah. And this is our Canadian Classic. It's a maple syrup toffee. Mmm. Amazing. This will give me some nice energy. It reminds me when I was younger, we used to go to this place called Santa's Village, and they'd have fresh maple syrup being made, and they'd just pour it on these ice slabs, and you'd go and roll your own. All right, now that I got a full belly, it's time to harvest some wood for our shelter and harvest a ton more firewood. 15 hours of darkness, and we don't have much time to collect it, so I need to hustle. So with the maple syrup that's left in here, I'm gonna make some more water, and that water is gonna be nice maple flavored. Do some dishes real quick. There we go, nice and clean. So this is why I like to have these blue nitrile gloves underneath. You can see my wool ones are completely soaked. So I'm going to take them off and hang them by the fire to heat up. Those look good. But now there doesn't seem to be a fire, so we got to build this thing back up. I think that tree's actually alive. It's hard to tell, so I'm just going to leave it alone. What I'm doing here is just taking all these snow-covered ones and kind of putting them to the sides and to the front to dry them off. So it doesn't take away the energy of the fire, but slowly dries the snow. What we want to do is get this whole thing burned down, get a lot of heat energy into that rock at the back so it radiates heat all night. It's going to take a lot more wood than this. So the snow's coming down quite a bit now, and this is the status of the fire. It's looking pretty good. What we need to do is build a bed now. And then once I move the fire out, we could start thinking about dinner and putting a roof over our heads. All right, time to set up our bed. I gotta move the fire over here and set up a bed over here because these rocks are now radiating a ton of heat and I want that heat to be under myself. It's always tricky moving a fire because it's gonna die out slightly when you do it. A lot of really hot coals here. You know what? I think I've got to do a completely new plan. That smoke is pushing all the way against that wall, so I wanted to have my bed there. I'm just gonna get smoked out. So I'm pushing that fire right back to that wall again to reflect the heat onto me, then I'll have my bed here. So many nice coals. I think my gloves are dry. That one's dry and crisped. Classic burning the gloves. It's in the winter fire. This glove is on its last legs anyways. Look at that hole there. Oh well, they get one more night. There we go. That's not a bad bed. This fire is so hot, just sitting near it is pretty uncomfortable. I feel like I need a layer down just being in here. It's crazy the heat that's coming off of this thing right now. Alrighty. So I brought with me some galvanized steel wire. We're gonna use this to help cook our next meal. Alright guys, I don't have anything to cut this and I don't really want to just spin it around. So I'm going to use the bottom of my knife there, just right there. I hate doing this, but this is a cheap little Mora knife. So it's perfectly fine, I could resharpen it again. Would not do that with my really nice knives. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the world's most okayest grill. Look at this thing. Very, very mediocre. But what are we going to grill on it, do you ask? This is what we've been waiting for. Okay. Ooh. And that's another benefit of these latex gloves is when you're handling raw meat like this. Look at that. Yeah! A whole rack. So I put a dry rub on this before. I figure what I'm going to do is smoke it up first, then I'm going to wrap it in the tin foil and put it under the coals. I really want to get that smoky flavor. Oh yeah, let's go. Beautiful. So I want to make sure there's no flames licking it. I just want a little bit of heat and a lot of smoke. After half an hour, 45 minutes or so, we're going to put it under the coals, let it bake there. All under there is really nice hot bed of coals, and that's exactly where we're going to put our ribs. Certainly is a lot of heat in here. That probably won't do much, but at least it's something. I think it's time to check on those ribs. Ha, ha. Oh my. Perfect. Wow. Oh. Let's dive in. Mmm. Wow. Perfectly cooked. Mmm. Mmm. You know, after such a crazy day of so much work, pretty much endless wood processing. It's not like fall off the bone like your ribs at home, but it's got a nice smoky taste. It's really good. For campfire ribs, this is amazing. So guys, sitting still, I can feel the coldness on my back. Guaranteed all night I'm going to be stoking this fire. It's not glorious, this kind of stuff, but it's the only way to get through the night is to constantly keep a fire going. It's just impossible to have your hands outside your gloves. They get so cold instantly. I don't know how cold it is right now, but it's freezing. Wow. All right guys, we got some cookie dough for dessert. We're gonna try to fry them up. I don't actually know what the game plan is here. I was hoping to bake them, but I figured maybe I'll try frying them up. Alright. Oh, it's gone. Alright guys, here's our delicious dessert. Whatever this is, some kind of cookie crumble. It's hot. Yeah, tastes like a cookie, but definite disaster. So we prepared a backup dessert. Chocolate mangoes. One of my absolute favorites. Oh, what the heck? Usually they're covered completely. This looks like a shark fin. Oh, it's frozen. Man, can't win with the desserts here. Still delicious though. Time for some hot chocolate. This is like a chocolate bomb. It's dark chocolate, tiny bit of sugar in there, and it makes a delicious hot chocolate. Gonna throw some of these bad boys for good luck. The water's this color because we had that maple syrup in here from earlier. So this is now a maple hot chocolate. Oh, that's nice. Caribou hide is one of the best insulators you could get. The hairs have hollow spaces inside, so it's a really good insulator. And then I got this wool blanket on top of me. Just the wool and the caribou alone might not be enough to keep me alive through the night. I literally have to keep that fire going all night if I want to survive. It is absolutely freezing out. Let's go check what temperature it really is. I have no idea, but it's really cold right now. If you're anywhere away from the fire, you gotta have gloves on or else it's pretty instant frostbite. So it looks like, holy smokes, it's -30 right now. That's crazy. That's negative 20 something Fahrenheit. It is freezing cold. I'm gonna warm myself up by chopping some firewood real quick. Oh, this is so good. It's so cold, and it's just gonna get colder. Usually the coldest time is like 4 or 5 in the morning, and right now it's 11:15. So it's just gonna keep getting colder. It's cold, guys. I'm gonna try to get some sleep for about an hour, and then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk around a bit. I'm gonna saw some wood, stoke the fire a bit, and then redo the whole thing again. I'm terrified to just go to sleep because it's freezing. I'm gonna turn the camera off and just try to get a bit of shut eye, at least for an hour. I'll see you then. Oh my gosh. What is it even at? It's off the charts. Oh, that is freezing cold. More than 35 degrees Celsius. Good morning, everyone. That was a freezing cold night. Very sleepless night. I pretty much just kept feeding this fire all night. I ran out of wood from my stockpile, so I had to cut some more. Every now and then I'd lie down and close my eyes, but I wouldn't say it's truly sleep. It's just kind of closing your eyes and resting. Guys, somehow the maple syrup is not frozen. I do not know how. I didn't know this stuff doesn't freeze. It's been sitting in the snow all night and it's still viscous. I don't even like to waste it on things like pancakes or waffles. I just like drinking it straight from the jar. So I have one of these at home and I just take swigs every morning. I also brought some cream cheese, but it's completely frozen. It's just a solid bunch right now. I'm just gonna put it in the water. It's my little espresso maker. Of course, gonna add some maple syrup in here. Keeping this close to my body. Pillsbury croissants. These are frozen solid. I'm gonna open these up and these are gonna be our breakfast. Guys, I opened it up and it's just exploding out. What do I do? Is this normal? All right, I was expecting some triangles to put on the stick. This went way smoother in my mind, honestly. Okay, I see the triangle. We are rolling it out. This is what we're going for. While one of these is cooking, I'm gonna throw another one just in little balls into this boiling water. And those should come out like dumplings. And the dumpling bread. I love to spread the cream cheese on any kind of toast and these croissant bits. Now we take that and dunk it in our coffee, and this is called toast dip. Growing up, my dad would make this for us every day. So from as a little kid, I'd have toast dip with espresso. Alrighty, let's dip. Oh no, there we go. Let's dip. That's nice. Dumpling, toast dip. Well, it wasn't the most comfortable night, but it was a delicious breakfast. With a full belly and some coffee in my system, I think it's time to pack up my stuff. Good amount of snow on it. Well, friends, that was one heck of an adventure. That was the coldest night I've ever survived in. Thanks for coming along with me. If you want to see more adventures just like this one, we got lots on the Bear Essentials YouTube channel. I'm your friend DJ with the Bear Essentials, and thanks for stopping by.